Okay, part 3. You ready for this?
I'm always ready. Always.
This is so fun. It's so fun to let people in on our little bubble. Okay. Um, and so we're gonna talk about Uncle Steve.
Well, we're going to start this with Fred. Fred
Oh,
Brown.
okay.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The day that I got like the call and text message from him, I was so honored and humbled, and I felt I was just I don't know, I wanted to cry because I knew the community work that he had done. I knew that he tried to get people help in the community, and I just, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've known him as a politician, but I know so many times, so many of the people that have come to my rescue, they were activists, right? And they went, farther up because they wanted to create change and they're fighting. And so that's how we bond, right? Like they're like, they see that fire in me and they're like, kid. And so yeah, he's pretty remarkable. He's pretty remarkable.
He was the state rep before John Rainey became state rep. And as a matter of fact, if you're 65 years old, he's one of the main reasons that your taxes, your property taxes, are frozen at 65 years old because he drafted that bill to make that work. So yes, he is an incredible man.
Because like I share with you about property, my parents are about to retire. My dad's a veteran. My dad's retiring for the second time. And like I share with you, I feel so responsible for property taxes going up because the thing that I created to raise my community up and be the rising tide that lifts all ships, the collateral was it raised the value, and some of the county commissioners felt like we could raise the taxes. And
yeah, I heard on the radio today an ad for his opponent in this race, and and the ad stated that she kept taxes down, actually lowered property taxes in this area.
When?
It was
Last
today.
week?
No, it was. I mean,
When?
I mean, on the radio, and I'm listening to this, and it was a prominent person talking about
I'm
that.
gonna cuss.
No.
When?
But
There's
here's
record.
yeah,
There's
I know,
recordings
I know.
of the court.
And see, here's the deal. If it had not been for Russ Ford and Steve Aldrich, who were both county commissioners at the time, literally skipping meetings to make sure there was no quorum so that they could vote on that, I promise you, your property taxes would have gone up.
So many people know this. Property taxes are set by the county commissioners. These words and these labels make no sense, right? You think of a commissioner, you thought it was a cop or whatever. But they set the property tax rates, and they have their little meeting is called court. And so when they tried to raise them, when the value of our community went up, two county commissioners, Russ Ford and Steve Aldrich, you can look on KBTX to the stories, they couldn't get them to stop it, so they figured out a way. We just won't show up to work. We just want to show up to work. Almost got fined. Didn't they almost go to jail? They held in contempt, right? They were like, we're just not going to go because if we don't go, then the vote can't go through, right? And so they blocked it, and they got all kind of.
They saved taxpayers $34 million. Now, let me explain. If you don't own a home, you're going, well, what does that matter to me? And property taxes, they don't have. They're not over all property taxes, but they are over the county property taxes. And basically, by them not showing up so that they couldn't get a quorum, they saved taxpayers $34 million. And here's the thing. Had the county needed that money, that would have been one thing. But the county was sitting on about $20 million that they had not spent. They had no intention of really even spending.
They had a surplus.
So they all of a sudden decide that they want another $34 million, and
Fred Brown's opponent
right
was like fussing. I remember that. Like they were not gonna say. They were very upset. They were like, "This is blocking the democracy." She was accusing them of being un-American, right? Am I remembering correctly? Because this is blowing my mind. That really trying to say that?
Here's the thing. If property taxes go up, think about what happens if you're paying rent, okay? Because the people that are collecting that rent that own the property, I guarantee you rent prices are going to go up in that situation. And they're going up anyway because of the number of Aggies and everybody moving into this area, but it would even be worse than it is.
It has gotten worse, Uncle Jay. It's bad. It's bad. We talked about that at the coalition.
Absolutely.
We're trying to get there's nowhere for people to live. It's costing more. Everything's going up, and it's starting with that. Like Russ Ford and Steve, they tried everything they could, and then Russ Ford turned out, and Uncle Steve is left there by himself, holding the line,
Yeah,
right?
if you live in that area and he is your county commissioner and you don't vote for him again just because he did you a solid, shame on you. And that's all I got to say about that. Now his opponent, everything I've read and seen about him, he's great. But wait till Steve retires, okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lovely person. And I was like, why? I need you somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing.
Right.
Like, I need proof that you can handle the job. Steve he's like, I don't have to be your friend. I got one job. I'm going to protect the people. We don't have to be friends. You don't have to like me. You can say bad things about me, but I have backbone and integrity. I'm like, yep. That's what I'm voting for. I don't need a politician. The other opponents, they're lovely people, right? They're in social, and I'm like, you're a lovely person. Why not choose a different role? I was told that their choosing of this role was because him blocking the vote made it harder for another situation.
And it did.
It did. It did. It didn't allow for
fair.
polling places on campus to happen and this and that. But I'm like, I'm an Aggie. My people need to realize that our university sits inside a community that needs to survive. And right now, taxes and inflation are destroying this community. And if we don't stop and pay attention, and you stop worrying about the convenience of where you vote, then we need to
Yeah, I mean, if you're up for paying an extra $100 a month to live where you're living, so that you can get convenience to vote, do it, okay? But that's sort of what it boiled down to.
That's what it boiled down to.
I promise you, and this is a small deal, and we still saw inflation, but it would have been worse. And that's all I can say about that.
And I'm worried if we don't keep Steve and we don't bring in Fred, who understands that, who's already proven himself as a leader that says, we will not. Government must learn to live with a tighter belt, with less, just like the rest of America does, right? We have to restructure. We have to be who is open to young people and ideas on, hey, how do we make it work with less means? Y'all are so funny. I'm an old fart, kid. Like, what do you suggest? This is what we got. This is what we need to do. Oh, there's technology to do that. Like, those are the leaders we need. We need leaders that are being like, we're not going to put it on the people. We're going to put it on us as leaders to figure out what's an alternative way as opposed to keep. And so it's just so important.
I'm going to add one thing to that. And that is, you know what leaders we really need in this country today? We need the Fabis and the Maritzas in this world. We need you watching this to step up. We need y'all to get involved, learn what's going on, step up, and help make the change that desperately needs to happen in this country. Because let me tell you something, gang, old farts like me, we ain't gonna be around forever. And if y'all don't start stepping up now, like this girl's doing, like Maritza's doing, if you just leave it alone, it's gonna continue to go the way it's going. You've got to start getting involved, step up, make up your mind to make a difference and be a leader like Fabi, like Maritza, and like some of these other folks that are just now starting to wake up and do this. Because, gang, it's y'all's world next. Once we're gone, if you don't do something today, by the time you get my age, man, that's really going to be scary.
I don't want to live in a world that doesn't have you guiding me. I don't know if I'll ever know enough. Oh my goodness.
You will. And besides that, we learn from our mistakes. And but you know the thing I love about you and Maritza, y'all are not afraid to make mistakes.
You learn from your mistakes.
And that's right. You learn from them. And that's the key to all this.
Amen. Anything else we need to say regarding Uncle Steve and Fred Brazos?
I think we've said it all.
All right. Here's hoping for the best, Uncle Jay. I hope the people are listening because, man, I just can't seem to say enough.
Go do your duty in this. Make sure you get out and vote and do the right thing for you. Anyway, thank you.
Amen.